So a question came up in a pre-sales the other day about how to give a graphical representation of some kind of layout using Flex that someone can quickly mouse over, click on, and get details in different spaces. Now I'd done an example with Flex a while ago for a warehouse configuration where you could put your mouse on certain spots in the warehouse and it would show you what products were in that space. So this actually would work with any kind of thing like that. You could do warehouse, you could do real estate, or maybe a mall configuration. I had the example running in Flex, so I thought I would throw it into the new Adobe Stratus framework for Salesforce and kind of give that idea. So if I go ahead and start that up, it's going to launch Stratus here, and I did it as an Adobe Air application only because it's very easy to do Air and it's a little bit easier to demo than if you're doing a application Flex. So let me see here. Let me grab my username and password here. Now I'm going to log into the Salesforce with the Air application so it knows what user I'm logged in as. And it's going to go ahead and grab all this information about the conferences. I have one I did for conference spaces in Flex where you could see a floor plan of a conference hall and you can see the different floor spaces. So what we have is in Salesforce we have a list of conference spaces, which is a custom object. And you can see that there's an ID for the space, and there's the account, which is the company that has purchased that space, where the location is, and the contract start and end dates for these spaces. You can put a number of different things that are more applicable for different scenarios, but I just did the conference space real quick. So you can see now that you can mouse over and you can see all the spots for this conference space, and this corresponds with here, so you can see all the different spaces. Now one thing you may want to do is you may want to, from the Air application, go ahead and reserve those spots. I didn't really have the time to do that in the code that I had before for just a demo purposes, so I didn't do that. So what I did was I have it so that you can actually go back into Salesforce, change the account, and add an account here and say this person purchased the space and starting from this date and the contract ends on this date, and save that. And now if you come back in the Air application and you can refresh and grab change from the server, you'll now see that this space has been reserved by this company, A to Z Interior. So that's kind of the application, and you could actually, if you wanted to, you could actually switch this around and say, you know, this is the wrong company here. They actually bought this space right here and they have it for these dates, and this is just essentially a reference, so there's no copying the values over back and forth, unless this is actually Acme. Acme, got a bunch of Acmes in there. So now if I go back and look at the Air application, I can refresh this and I can see now that these two, we switched the spot for CS1003 for the A to Z interior finishing, and then the CS1000 has Acme. Now you can do this. One thing that's about the Air application is you can drag and drop it in here also, and offline. So if I was a sales rep, I could take this conference application offline and take it to a customer and actually look at the spots that are available on here, and we could put a small form right here where they could actually reserve those spots for that customer. And then when they connect back online, either in their car or at a Starbucks or whatever, they could actually synchronize that with the server, and it would actually reserve that spot for that customer. So that's the conference spaces demo.